I lean Georgia as well, ever so slightly, but I think this game is going to see a lot of points.
All right. So you're not going to engage with my wild prediction. We'll come back to that. Hank, clip the tape. I want to mark this for roughly 5 months from now. Okay? We're going to come back, and I'm going to look like a genius. Landry Kiffin.
Hello and welcome to Geoff Schwartz This Morning. Geoff Schwartz This Morning is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. It is Tuesday, September 23rd. I'm Geoff Schwartz alongside Gabe Goodwin. We cut off our Rosh Hashanah topic off air, Gabe, to talk about football. So happy New Year to everyone celebrating Rosh Hashanah. It is a Jewish New Year. Today I'm going to synagogue right after this. And maybe our cold open, we'll handle that. But we're going to talk football, Gabe, and we'll joke along the way a little bit here. How was your football weekend?
Football weekend was a lot of football, Jeff, and Lashana Tova to you. We were at games. We were watching games. We snuck in some soccer and some baseball as well, but tons of football to talk about. More topics than I've ever seen in our rundown, Jeff.
I know.
We should fly through it.
Well, yes, we should. You obviously went to the USC game, so your Trojans won. Your Chargers, a good weekend for you. Chargers won. I mean, all good for you. But let's start with the game last night. That was 68 points. Lions 38, Ravens 30.
Yeah, not all good for Baltimore. This happens with this Harbaugh team. It seems like they're great. They end great. They don't always start great, and they're giving up a ton of points. You said it, 38-30. Second week in a row where you're like, what the hell? What was that? I guess I have to ask. 2 out of 3 weeks, not second in a row. If the D is healthy, are they fine and this is not a topic? Or are we concerned systematically, structurally about this team?
I mean, look, even the Browns game, the Browns didn't score a ton of points. They outgained the Ravens. It wasn't like a fluke. I think that the Browns and their offense we saw was not good against the Packers. It obviously did enough to win that game. But Baltimore's allowed the most points, I believe, in the NFL so far this year. 41, 17, and 38 now. Yeah. And yes, they are missing some players, but not enough to make that the result. Now, to be fair, they have played the Bills and the Lions, two high-powered offenses, and the Lions have looked much better, obviously, since week one. But they're getting run through, which I think is a problem. Now, Matabuke coming back will certainly help with that. But
Van Noy.
They're just, I don't think Van Noy is a guy I'm going to think is going to stop the run quite the same way.
They're missing a defensive back last night. I mean, there was a lot of guys.
There's a lot of guys out, but still, look, they get the benefit of the doubt because of who they are. Absolutely. But it is concerning, Gabe, because your schedule doesn't get any easier because you have a first place schedule. You do get the benefit of playing 3 teams in your division that have, that are not great on offense, right? That certainly helps you. But we view these teams through the lens of their expectations, right? And the expectation for Baltimore is to be near the finish line of the AFC conference. And right now, no matter how bad the Chiefs are, and we'll talk about them in a few minutes, the Ravens defense is just not living up to that task. For so many years, we saw that be a strong suit. And again, man, it's the mistakes, dude. The fumble by Derrick Henry, again. It's little things like this that for years have cost them at times in some of these games that they blow. But for the most part, they've avoided bad mistakes. It's what the good teams do. And they're making them now. They're making those mistakes. The Lions also just out-schemed them. There were opportunities. You go to my Twitter at Geoff Schwartz. I actually highlighted some of them where I thought the Lions just really did a good job of game planning. A couple of the touchdown runs were good blocks and good execution, but a really good job of understanding where the Ravens were going to align. And they've lost, brain power over the years on defense. Certainly could be possible that, the brain drain has taken a little bit of toll on just schematically what they're able to do. But the Lions knew what was coming. When they've gone in certain formations, certain situations, took advantage of that.
Yeah, I want to go a little deeper on the Lions in a second. On the Derrick Henry thing, it's getting weird. And 3 fumbles now in 3 games, a couple of them pretty consequential. Is there some drill you can do where you wrap truck tires to your hands and run up a hill backwards or something? I feel like that works for him to keep his body in shape. Can we do something to keep him holding on to the ball?
It's surprising. They do drills, obviously. The Hutchinson, he just didn't see him, I guess. But the point of holding the ball high and tight, as they say, is to, someone might be punching the ball out. That ball was kind of not close to his body, right? It was kind of out a little bit. And Hutchinson got his hand in there and punched it out. So these are critical fumbles, man. And as good as he is, and we know he's, going to be a Hall of Famer one day, these fumbles are killing him, man. They really are. And I'm not saying that lost him the game last night, but it didn't help him win the game, right? Obviously against the Bills didn't help there. And, when you have a player who's getting paid as much as he is and as a leader and is so impactful, you got to think he'll figure it out eventually. But again, I'm not saying that's why they lost the game, Gabe, but there's now 2 games where a fumble of his has been very costly and detrimental to the success of the team.
What about this idea? So we see all the video of him doing these weird drills by himself out in a field somewhere, right? They're always crazy looking, and they always make us say, man, that guy's strong. What if we put him in a car wash, and then we have a bunch of guys with like jousting sticks coming at him, and he's just got to charge his way through a soaking wet place with those like flappy things slapping at him and jousting sticks hitting him. What if he does that and we get some video of that the next time he plays an
You've seen that thing they run through, right? The running backs that have like that. Yeah. So that, but elevated
that's not as weird as I need.
No.
Derrick Henry's secret is the weird workouts.
So you need like a little setup in a car wash where just dudes are popping out and jabbing them. I mean, look, we can set it up. I think people. I don't know enough people to make that happen, but I would love to see a video of that happening this offseason. Just a little extra gauntlet for him. Hey, look, it's killing the team, man. It's just not good right now. And when you play teams like the Lions and the Bills, you can't give them extra opportunities, Gabe, especially when your defense is not playing well. And the extra opportunities are hurting them right now. And so, when you're not as good at one thing, the other side has to pick up the slack, right? That's the way it works. And you want to be a balanced team. And right now, the Ravens are scoring points. They got 30 points. They scored 40 in a loss, 30 in a loss. Like, they're scoring points. But a couple of those errors have cost them the chance to win those games because their defense is not good enough right now.
Yeah, and they got the Chiefs on the schedule. So let's talk Lions for a second. Receiving core looks as good as any in the game. Goff is as good as anyone when he's at his best and has time. Where are we placing them? Do we just throw out week 1? Like, what do we think of them?
So very interesting, right? Week 1 happens and we go, of course, new coordinators, right? Jared Goff can't win without Ben Johnson, right? That sort of is the narrative. And then they gave us 2 middle fingers and they played excellent football the last couple of weeks. I think quite simply, Gabe, it's a thing of a couple of things. One is that the offensive line's been better, right? They have some new pieces in different spots and they played better, certainly have. And then it looks like the offensive coordinator is sort of figuring out what works for his team. It takes time. It takes maybe a game. It may take half a season to start feeling better about what you're doing. And the offense just looks way more comfortable and confident. They're blocking, which allows Goff the ability to get the ball. But the creativity in the offense, that 4th down play where St. Brown sort of came back in the backfield, they ran the option play for a touchdown. Like the creativity, they ran a double pass, I think, yesterday as well. The creativity feels back in this offense. And that just shows me that they're confident in what they know they can do. And we didn't see that in game 1. And that's okay. That happens. They played a Packers team that was riled up. They're at home. They just traded for Parsons, kind of ran into a buzzsaw maybe. But I think the Lions now elevate them sort of back up to the top of the NFC. You got the Eagles obviously up there. The Rams, I think, are still up there. The Lions now, the Commanders, if Daniels is healthy. The Niners, who knows? We'll talk about them in a few minutes with their injuries. But the Lions have got to come back up now to the upper tier now of the NFC.
Yeah, maybe Dan Campbell added an espresso shot to the daily routine, got a little bit more amped up, and started calling some plays in practice.
He went from what? He does 4 a day. He said four and a coffee.
Last I checked,
that feels unhealthy.
Oh, it's coaches very unhealthy.
Coaches live a very unhealthy lifestyle. I just couldn't do it, man. When I was in Chicago, I was talking to a buddy of mine who coaches for the Bears, and he's like, I was like, how the hours? He goes, man, I don't know, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning most days. I'm like, what do you do? You're there from 6 to 1 a.m. That feels like too much time in the facility. You can't get your work done in a timely manner in the first 14 hours of the day, like 6 to 8. You can't do that. So coaches, man, they work so many hours.
You know who I'm wondering how much work they're doing is, and I mean this jokingly, but also I'm like kind of not sure what's happening. What's with the training staff in San Francisco? Like, honestly, I get it. Fluky plays. Star players attract more attention when they get injured, and they've had bad luck with star players getting injured over the years. But at what point do we have to ask, is there something else going on with the 49ers? They lose several players every year for the last few years. So this year, Purdy's hurt. Juwan Jennings is hurt. 2 key offensive linemen are out. Kittle's on the IR. Ayuk was already hurt. Now we lose Nick Bosa for the year with an ACL. Geoff, help me out here, man. What's going on that could contribute to this? It can't just be bad luck.
So their athletic trainers in the 6th season.
And I'm genuinely, I'm not trying to.
No. I was just curious because I was curious if they made a change at all. So there's a couple, basically 2 types of injuries. I'll just characterize them 2 ways. There's one that obviously is what we saw with Nick Bosa, where it's a injury that happens on a play, right? It's fluky, it's unlucky, whatever it is, but it happens in actual football. My dog's super excited about this topic as well, Gabe. And the second injury to me is what essentially is a lack of training, right? Where you get a muscle pull, a muscle tear, a strain, something like that, where sometimes it's just lack of training, right? The guy pulls a hamstring, he's not in shape, a groin, a calf, something like that, right? A strain of some sort it can be obviously just, Mike Evans hurt his hamstring. I don't think Mike Evans is not training hard enough, but there are certainly injuries that the players have with lack of training. You can hurt your knee essentially if your quads are not developed enough, right? If your quads are not strong enough, don't stabilize that knee, you get hit in a weird way, your knee can get hurt. Now, it's hard to pinpoint exactly if that's the reason why someone gets a knee injury or not, but there are ways to basically injury prevent the way you train, okay? And the Niners injuries, though, tend to be more of the game injuries, right? Bosa tears the ACL. Like, that's nothing. I don't think Nick Bosa's not working hard enough. You look at him, you see the way he, and McCaffrey, that it's a running back. It's an overuse type of thing, right? Sometimes, Purdy has a toe and a shoulder. Those are not, to me, training type injuries. I don't, Gabe, I'm not at their practice. I don't know. There are times that we see teams that get that overtrain their players, that get guys hurt because they're overtrained. I don't think that's San Francisco's problem. I don't see them having these terribly physical practices and beating everyone up. It's just not what really honestly the Shanahan type of system. And you can't do that anymore now anyways. You get an off day every 4th day in NFL training camp. So I wish I could just be like, hey, the trainers suck. It's their problem, or it's just they're just cursed right now, man. I don't know. I don't know. And all that being said, they're 3-0, right. And they're going to get Purdy back eventually. Their offense is not, dude. One thing people love is redemption stories, of course, in the NFL. The people like Mac Jones, I'm like, they scored 16 points. What are we talking about? I guess. But I mean, Mac Jones was, he ended up throwing for a lot of yards, right? Yeah, 27 of 41 because they were scrambling to come back in that game. I mean, sure, I guess, but 16 points is not great. And we'll see what happens to them. But they're 3-0, man. The Bosa thing is bad. When he's on the field, they're much better, obviously, than when he's off the field. And I just don't know how they can withstand this. They hope Williams, the young cat, is going to get better and improve every week. He looks like he's getting better, but there's just no replacing him unless you try to trade for Trey Hendrickson or you try to find someone else who's maybe Cam Jordan's available in midseason if the Saints are 0-8, something like that. Different type of rusher than Bosa, but he does give you something that'll help you, for any sort of playoff push.
So maybe they get healthy at the right time, though. And if they always seem to win with backups, I guess credit Shanahan for that. I mean, that division is in play. The Rams seem like the best team. They should have had the win this weekend, and they lose on a crazy play. But they got to play for it, right? Like, they're not giving up. They're going to get a bunch of guys back mid-season.
Yeah, they're going to get their quarterback back, I would imagine, soon. The wide receivers back at some point, right? Now, again, there's no replacing Bosa. That is what it is. But again, are they going to try to get themselves someone else? I mean, Trey Hendrickson's a great option, right? The Bengals are going nowhere. Even though what's funny, the Bengals are actually first in the division right now, just because the Ravens are 1-2. But is it worth calling over there and getting a deal done to bring them over? It's a 1-year contract, obviously. You're trying to make a Super Bowl push, and the Bengals peter out. Do you go get him? So there are options, I think, Gabe, as I mentioned, to go trade for guys. The Niners feel like they're really in it.
All right. Well, you know who doesn't have to make any trades? Even after losing an elite pass rusher, my Chargers, lifelong Chargers fan here. I will just confess that, since I've been rooting for this team, for decades, I've always noticed that the national media in each offseason hype them up, and then they sort of charger their way to mediocrity, and then we repeat it the next year and again and again and again. But this year does feel different. Herbert plus receivers plus Amari and Hampton, I see an MVP for him, and I'm wondering, time to unseat the Chiefs? Maybe. Feels like it. Could be.
So the best thing that Jim Harbaugh has done, Gabe, is he got the Chargers to stop charging. Like, they have won games this season that they have lost in previous. The game Sunday, they have lost for a generation.
Yes.
They've lost again for a generation. And they did. Even the Chiefs game, you go back to 3rd and 15, okay? It's 27-21. I thought to myself, get a stop, Chiefs win the game, 28-27. And we all thought that. Herbert makes a play, right? And even this weekend, like, they're going to go into New York this weekend. And like the trappiest of all games, right? You're 3-0 in division. The Giants stink. I think they're just going to pound the Giants. Like, that's just their mindset, right? Harbaugh's speech after the game was, I don't know if you saw it, I'm sure you watched it, like incredible. Obviously, everyone's bought in to what he's doing. Winning helps that. And then Herbert, dude, is fine. Like, this is what we're talking about when we talked about, like, there's a little more left of Herbert. It's this. It's what we're seeing right now. That throw he made was absolutely incredible. To even just to break the tackle and to turn his body to get square to throw the ball. Then he threw it around Benito's arm, I think it was, and made that. It's all working well. And I think it's a formula, Gabe, that I think is withstandable, right? It's we're going to win the line of scrimmage. And look, there were some issues, I think, with Alt against speed rusher. It's going to be a problem all season, but he'll figure it out. But just win the line of scrimmage, let Herbert be the offense. He can really do that. And then we're going to win end-of-game situations, which, again, for years they haven't done, and they're doing that now.
Yes, they tried to avoid, like hell, any of those end-of-game situations. That's why they were going for it on 4th and everything for a few years there. I also just didn't feel worried. They're up, 10, 11 points. I'm like, they're not going to turn it over and give up 2 scores in the 4th quarter like a couple weeks ago. Like, the confidence is there. So let me ask you this. Give me a play on this. I'm looking at, I believe these are the most up-to-date MVP odds. Allen, obviously, your best bet. Lamar Jackson, still number 2. Justin Herbert coming in at plus 500, ahead of guys like Hurts and Love. Do we like a play on Justin Herbert at this point in the season?
So these are on DraftKings right now. And Herbert, I mean, it's just the number was so much better a couple days ago, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder if you just wait a little bit till he loses a game, you get a much better number, Gabe. And that's this market, right? The market's going to change every week.
Buy the dip.
And you want to always buy the dip in these markets if you miss the best number. So, but also the thing about this, like, the MVP most years is best quarterback on best team, right? Some years it's best quarterback on second best team. So are the Chargers better than Buffalo or Baltimore by the end of the season? That's the question, right? Like, is Herbert going to do enough? Are the Chargers going to be 14-3? It's certainly possible. Absolutely possible. But that's the concern. Like, Buffalo's going to win 14 games. They play in a division, 6-0 division, like, they're going to win 14 games. They already beat Baltimore. They get Kansas City at home again, I believe, this season. Like, they're gonna win 14 games. So it'd be hard to beat Josh Allen, I think, but I'd wait till there's a loss somewhere and the number gets better, or maybe 2 losses in a row. Like, this will be playable week 10 still, and you probably get better than 5-1.
Okay, I'm about to bring up another MVP bet we might want to make. Let me set it up by doing this. You mentioned the Giants, so the Chargers go to the Giants, then they host the Commies, then they're at Finns, and then they're home against the team we don't talk about on this show. They play in Indianapolis. They wear blue and white. Peyton Manning used to be their quarterback. I will lift the ban for a second here. If both of those teams are undefeated when they face here in LA, but what I really want to ask about is, if that were to be the case, wouldn't Jonathan Taylor be a great MVP pick? Should we put a little money on that right now? He's looking like a running back who could win an MVP the way he's carrying that team.
Are you going to go the game if they're both undefeated?
Not to a team. Not because of who they're playing.
No, really? No.
Banned from the topic list on this show. Banned from me purchasing tickets.
I saw his videos. Like the Chargers fans look like they're actually coming. All 10 of them are showing up to SoFi. Like it looked like a big Chargers crowd this past week. I was surprised. That typically has not been the case. LA, as we know, very bandwagon fan base. Like
only people I know who've gone to a Chargers game this year were Broncos fans. So
the reason why these sports books continue to grow, and I know DraftKings doesn't have their own hotel, but we see these hotels continue to grow in Vegas because people put money on Jonathan Taylor to win MVP. And it's just not going to happen. So I wouldn't do it. And anyways, Daniel Jones right now is playing better. So I mean, Daniel Jones is like 850 yards passing in 3 games. So I
stay with me. I want to give this a second. Here's my theory. Daniel Jones will have to go 17-0 and significantly outplay Josh Allen, who goes 15-2, in order to win an MVP. Whereas I think your voting friends would give an MVP to a running back that leads a junky team like the team in Indy if he goes for 2,000 yards rushing and scores 20 touchdowns, which could happen. So they'll like the cute story there more than the Daniel Jones as QB.
So the last 2 running back MVPs, I believe I'm correct on this, were 2012 Adrian Peterson and 2005 LaDainian Tomlinson, or that was Sean Alexander. Maybe then LT was at some point there as well. Those guys had historic seasons, right? And we know that I play in the 2012 Adrian Peterson Vikings team, and he was 9 yards short of the rushing record for Eric Dickerson. And then 2006 was LaDainian Tomlinson. I believe that year set a record for touchdowns in a season. And Sean Alexander, I believe, had 2,000 yards in 05. If Taylor gets 2,000 yards, they go 14-3. Maybe, Gabe, but you need all those things to happen. You need Buffalo essentially to not finish strong. You need the Baltimore to really do nothing. Like there's just a lot of things. You need Jalen Hurts and the Eagles and to not play well. Like you need a lot of things to happen for Taylor to win the MVP.
Okay. I think those things are going to happen faster than Travis Hunter doing whatever he would have to do to win an MVP in Jacksonville. He's got the same number as Jonathan Taylor, and Jamar Chase ain't winning an MVP, but I got to pay more to win with him. So I'm sprinkling some Jonathan Taylor.
I get the argument that the value is probably good considering where he's around. He's, same as Travis Hunter, who has no chance to win. He's longer on to Jamar Chase, who has no chance to win. So if you're making a value play, yes. And if you're saying that, this number is going to be 15 to 1, 15,000, right? In 3 weeks. And so you got yourself a ton of closing line value. Sure. I'm not one, my gambling philosophy is this, like, I know people love the closing line value, right? Like I got to bet it at 300 to 1. Now it's 150 to 1. Oh my God. It's not going to win though. So like you just threw away money. You got a good value. Sure. On a bet that's not going to win. I tend to just try to make bets I think are going to win. That's different than a lot of my gambling community friends who love the closing line value of any sort of wager. I just like to find wagers I think they're going to win, and I don't think it's going to win.
Yeah, that really got into my psychology. I'm now thinking about when I go to Costco. I'm like, that's all that pistachios cost?
That's why I don't go anymore.
Yeah, I need 9 pounds of pistachios.
I get it delivered. So after COVID, I used to go to Costco every week before COVID. COVID happened. We weren't allowed to go. So I started Instacarting it. Not a sponsor. Maybe could be one day. And I just order Costco now. It saves you a lot of money, dude. The delivery fee it saves you because you don't go to what's your point. You don't go and be like, oh, here's something I absolutely do not need and won't eat, but it looks very good in the store. My kids though did used to love to run in the freezer and the giant fridge where the eggs and milk were at when they were super young. I got some cute videos of them doing that. By the way, Norman Schwartz caught himself a salmon yesterday, and I've never seen my kid happier. I don't fish. I don't know where he got that from. He loves to fish, Gabe. They were in Seattle. He caught a giant salmon. Pretty awesome.
That is extremely awesome. I would like to see pictures of giant fish. But for now, let's go stay in the family in a different way. Quickly on the Chiefs, maybe we should bet some MVP odds on Tyquan Thornton. Looked like Tyreek Hill for the Chiefs this week. Give me the positives quickly. Chiefs, back? All the way back? Halfway back? Or how are we doing?
All right, so the thing, I think I told you that the thing about the Chiefs, I'm just sort of waiting offensively to see what they look like with any sort of downfield passing threat, Gabe. And very clearly they had a tiny bit of that and the offense was able to unlock itself a little bit, right? It was much better in the second half of that game. But the run game thing still frustrates the shit out of me. They ran the ball on the drive to go ahead, well, not to go ahead, but the drive to go up 10 after the half. They ran the ball twice under center for 20 yards. Like they were good runs and just do it again. Like the running game still design bothers the shit out of me. The running backs aren't very good, but be able to throw the ball with a little bit more success down the field, it opens everything up. If Thornton can be this guy for you, but now he's the 3 or the 4. So she writes is 1, Xavier Worthy's 2, Hollywood Brown is 3, and Thornton's 4. It's a pretty good group of wide receivers when they're all back healthy. And then you had Travis Kelce in, of course, as well. So it's better than losing that game. We'll see what they do against Baltimore, who, of course, is allowing a ton of points right now. Defensively, they were fine. Russell Wilson is just so bad. Jackson Dart needs to play. There's no point in playing Russell Wilson anymore. The loser of Ravens Chiefs goes to 1-3. Kind of crazy.
That is crazy, and yet that would be buying the dip. That's when I want to, get on either of those teams who we know will end up in the playoffs somehow and probably winning a round or two. So let's take a quick break. We got to hit a bunch of other teams, including the one you just teased and Jackson Dart. Crazy, ridiculous story that we have to talk about. So let's do that after the break.
All right, Gabe, we're back, and we're going to do NFL speed round. One word, plus a little more for some of these topics. Go ahead.
Here we go. I'll give you the sentence. You give me the quick reaction. Packers lose to Browns as soon as we thought they were the favorites, huh?
Predictable. Like, just so predictable, right? Like, this is the NFL, though. This is why week 3, we talked about in our gambling episode, week 3 is a lot of weeks that the favorites lose, these big touchdown favorites lose, man. It was bound to happen. It had been so long, weeks and weeks and weeks since we've seen a lot of these upsets, and it felt predictable, and the Packers looked completely flat and unprepared to play in that moment. They're a young team still. Look, they were sleepwalking through that game. Good for the Browns. Browns defense, fantastic. We'll talk about Garrett in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. All right. Browns offense. Deion Sanders thinks Shador will start for the Browns at some point this season. Said it on a podcast.
Agreed. I agree. I've said he'll start this season. I think all 3 quarterbacks will start this season. The podcast, yeah, I haven't listened to that episode yet. I know. I have you listened, or you saw a clip of it? I like that. I like that show.
Like most people, I consume the clips. I have not yet found the actual long form to press play on. But hey, that might be how some people enjoy you, Geoff Schwartz. I hope they do. Just clips,
please. We need all the views, all of them. I'll take all of them.
Take the clip views. All right, the Micah Bowl and Big D on Sunday Night Football. Quick reaction.
Nah, the Cowboys suck. I don't know. I'm uninterested. Really, the Cowboys are just so bad on defense that the Packers will have a probably big bounce back, and I would imagine Parsons plays well and Jerry Jones looks stupid. They'll keep showing him in the booth, and he'll look like a guy who traded away a franchise changing player.
I think that's right. CeeDee Lamb in a boot on a scooter, out for a few weeks. Cowboys offense also useless.
This injury is 100% of the Cowboys coaching staff. They put CeeDee Lamb at running back. Why? And then he tried to get tackled by Noah Sewell instead of being tackled by a cornerback or a safety. So it's their fault. They're dummies for putting him at running back. What's the point? You have running backs. What's the point of doing this? So it's their fault. They're dummies.
Okay. Eagles Bucks. They're going to both be 3-0 against all odds, given how week three played. So is Baker the best leader in the NFL, or is Baker the worst player on a great offense?
Baker's, I think, fantastic to watch. He's a fun watch. He just gives it all, man. Puts all on the line each and every game. Very, very fun to watch.
Okay. I agree. And I think underrated as a result. So we'll see. You got a pick on that game, Eagles Bucks, or we'd save that for Thursday?
No, buddy, as we record this, I'm in college football at the moment. I'll get to the NFL like soon. Still, it's like you start, college. I'm thinking about college football picks first. We'll get to NFL.
Copy that. 9 defensive or special teams touchdowns this week, most since the 90s. What the hell's going on?
How happy did it make you see all those kickers miss?
So many misses. So many
get blocked. You probably loved it, right? You're anti-kicker.
My son is now saying cancel kickers.
Oh, smart kid. Smart kid. I'll tell you what, man. A person of great power in this country called the new kickoff sissy football, and I would disagree. The new kickoff rule is allowing for a lot more fun on the kickoffs, a lot better field position, less yardage in the NFL, by the way, because everyone has better field position. And obviously, special teams wise, the blocks were fun, man. It was a fun weekend of extra scoring.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that one alone for a second. Mariota wins in the Kingsbury offense.
Go Ducks. Go Ducks.
Go Ducks is right, but Mariota is grayer than me, grayer than you, and running for 40-something yards and throwing for 200-something.
The Raiders stink. I don't put much into this.
Okay. So it's not that Cliff Kingsbury, and I don't like admitting this, might just be good at drawing up some offense, and that Jaden Daniels maybe is a nice benefactor of that, and we can stop all the silliness.
I think Daniels is very good and also a benefactor. I think both are true.
All right, fair enough. Cam Scattaboo taking over, starting quarterback or running back. Well, maybe quarterback soon too. Who knows? What do we think of that for the Giants? Is he like the Jeremy Lin in New York now?
Yes, I think he's a very fun watch. He obviously plays his ass off, but I don't think he's going to have like some renaissance at running back. He takes so much beating, dude. Like he takes so much beating. But he's fun to watch. He gives them energy and juice, which they don't have right now on offense.
Yep. They have nothing on offense. Jackson Dart, I'm hiring his PR guy.
Collinsworth was all in on that. Collinsworth is so funny, man. Mahomes like threw some bad passes. He's like, oh, here's a guy. Look at this effort on this bad pass he threw. I'm like,
it's crazy. They ran out of stuff to say, so they cut to him. By the way, take a look at how Jackson Dart looked on the sideline and tell me you really are like, we got to go to that guy. He looks like he's in some teen movie. Like if The Descendants 9 came out and there was a quarterback in the movie, he'd look like Jackson Dart. Stop it with Jackson Dart.
Big and his eye black was running.
Stupid eye black on one eye. He's got the chain, the goofy SoCal hair. Stop it with Jackson Dart.
Is he from Southern California?
No, actually, I don't think he is. I think he's from Utah, but he, spent a minute in a USC quarterback room. All right, which, by the way, he couldn't win, but fine. All right, Giants and Jets are both 0-3. I'm going to give you a play here. The last time they both started 0-3, do you know when it was?
No.
All right, it wasn't that long ago. 2021, according to my research. Do you know what happened that year?
No.
NYCFC won the MLS Cup. So, Jeff, should we get on it? Should we bet the MLS final, NYCFC?
Yeah, I think we should. I saw a tweet that was something like someone tweeted out like worst New York in September history, and people were like, "Are you sure about that? You sure it was the worst September New York history?"
Get out of here with that. By the way, the Yankees are really the only thing going well in New York right now. The Mets are mid collapse.
The baseball, I know we're not a baseball podcast, but what the Guardians are doing right now is kind of wild. They were like 15 back in June, and they're one back of the Tigers right now.
I remember a movie with a plot like that. Most of the people watching probably don't.
It's my second favorite movie ever. I think it is.
Second? What beats that?
Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, okay.
I thought that's fair to be one and two. The first time I saw the unedited version of Major League and not Dorn, they pissed on Dorn's contract, which I only saw the edited version for years and years, Gabe. And the first time I saw the edited version, I was in tears laughing, dude. It's such a good movie. Oh, I mean, it's probably actually not a good movie. It's just like,
it's a perfect movie.
It's an incredible movie. It's so good.
It's an absolutely perfect movie. Okay, new game we're gonna play. We're gonna do super fast. I'm gonna name 3 things. You tell me which is the worst of the three. I'm not explaining the category. You just have to pick the worst one. Okay, here we go. Brian Callahan, Mike McDaniel, Trent Dilfer.
It's probably Trent Dilfer, honestly. Callahan, I think, can coach offense if it's just offense. I think McDaniel can coach. I think like if Brian Callahan and Mike McDaniel were just offense coordinators, they'd be fine. But Trent Dilfer, it never was a coach before this. So I would say Dilfer. Well, he was a high school coach, not a college coach. Like never was like an offense coordinator, successful. So I would say Dilfer.
Okay. He pulled out his cell phone on the sidelines, made some moves because of that.
Just, jeez.
Yeah. Well, friend of the show. Not going to trash Trent Dilfer. Okay, next category. Here we go. Bengals, Raiders, Ravens. What am I talking about? What are they all bad at?
Offensive line.
That's right.
Yeah. But really, the Raiders and Bengals. Bengals. I think Raiders might be worse.
Really? Unseating the Bengals. They would have gotten that every year.
Yeah.
For years.
Raiders are better. I told you they should have drafted they should have drafted an offensive lineman first, not Genty. Exactly what's happening right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. You'll figure this category out quickly. Tyrod Taylor, Jake Browning, Mac Jones.
Backup quarterbacks. Are we doing the worst one or the best one? Like, what do you want to?
Worst.
Dealer's
Give me
choice
the
here?
guy who you have the least confidence in right now.
I mean, probably Mac Jones, honestly, even though they've won the 2 games.
I'm with you. McCorkle's tough to watch, man. And Tyrod Taylor, the Jets should have done this a while ago. By the way, I'm sneaking this in here. I didn't ready Hank for this. I'm doing it. I've talked about sports divorce for a couple years now with you.
Yeah. Put
the Jets on the banned list. They don't deserve it. We got it in earlier. I don't ever want to do it again. The Jets are out.
Oh, yeah. They're 0-3. There's nothing to talk about that anymore. All right, let's go.
Okay, this one, I don't know how you're going to piece this together, but here goes 3 things. Stopping Myles Garrett, hitting a home run off a major league pitcher, or pronouncing acetaminophen if you're the president of the United States of America.
Oh my God. Tunnel's going to win so much money in a lawsuit. It's going to be, geez. He also tried to talk about the MMR vaccine and didn't know what the R stood for. And he's like measles, mumps, and just moved on.
What's the category, first of all? Stopping Myles Garrett on a rush,
hitting hardest thing to do?
Major league pitcher, or pronouncing the word acetaminophen. What's the hardest thing to do?
I mean, I think the hardest thing to do is probably hit a home run. But for regular people saying acetaminophen, like I understand why you couldn't do it. But if you're giving a press conference to explain why you're trying to ban medicine for pregnant women that's been proven to do no harm to them, and the only thing they can take when they're pregnant for anything, essentially, for any sort of pain or fever or anything like that, you should get the name of the generic drug correctly, right? Like the generic medicine correctly. That's just my personal opinion on the topic. Maybe other people disagree with me. My wife, very famously in the medical field, I told her this stuff and she thought I was kidding. She thought I was joking when I told her some of the medical updates for the last 24 hours.
Are you saying that when you make a major announcement as the president of the United States of America, you should do slightly more prep than we do for this podcast? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yes. I think we actually do the same amount of prep. I open up the Google Doc. Yeah. I look through it. Now, obviously, this show's a little different than the Thursday show with Matt. But like the point of the show, obviously, is like you fire stuff at me that I may or may not have seen so far, and I try to make you smarter. I do take a peek at the doc. But yeah, I would imagine that he gets handed a piece of paper and he just goes and talks immediately with zero idea of what's about to be said. It's dangerous, man. It's dangerous.
Well, I'm not going there. I want you to make me smarter about a real football topic then. The reason I asked this question is because Myles Garrett obviously is insane.
Yeah.
Seems unblockable. But this week, he was mic'd up, and he said that he got past a lineman And the second he got past him, the lineman just started yelling, "Jordan, run!" That's what he claims.
You hear it on the video. He absolutely said it.
Okay. So is that does that happen? You played line in the NFL.
I've never done it before, but it absolutely does happen. Yeah. Like if you get beat, I say, watch out, watch out, watch out. Like, yes, I don't, the quarterback hears you. I don't know, but yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay. First of all, that's incredible. And how humiliating is that if you just have to yell to your quarterback, watch out? But now here's back to the original question then. Take me, average sized person, maybe not, maybe even less than average, but whatever. I'm about 6 feet tall. I'm not the biggest guy. I played a little baseball. I'm reasonably athletic. I'm in decent shape. You drop me into a major league batter's box against a pitcher trying to get me out, or you put me on an offensive line and my assignment is keep Myles Garrett away from a quarterback.
I think with Myles Garrett, if you just get lucky enough to just like cut his legs out, grab his legs, like there's a way you can stop him. You're not hitting Paul Skeens. Like I like it was funny. Skeens was on a Mookie Betts' a podcast. I don't know what the name of it is, but I saw a clip of him with Paul Skeens. They asked him like, how would you pitch Babe Ruth? Which is just the dumbest. I love baseball a lot, but the way baseball compares itself to guys that played 100 years ago, I mean, you just wouldn't do that in football, basketball. You just wouldn't do that. But all of a sudden, like you wouldn't be like, you know what? How would George Mikan match up with Giannis? You'd be like, Giannis would score 85 points on him. Like you wouldn't be a question. For some reason, there's this Babe Ruth thing that he swung a 36, 35, like a giant bat. It seems like I just throw fastball, and then I throw fastball again, and I throw another one, and then another one. And then probably another one. Maybe I'll throw a splitter or they call it a sprinkler, but he's got that splitter slurve thing, whatever it is. Like Babe Ruth would not touch the ball any of those times. And yet we talk about it like this is basically drives me crazy about baseball, man. Oh, he hasn't done it since 1908. Okay, that sure. I mean, the NFL has like Super Bowl era stats and then like other stats. Like baseball should have a cutoff. I don't know when the cutoff is. Maybe like I don't know when they raised the mound back up, and that's what it was. The lowered the mound, I should say. So I think it was higher, then it went back lower when no one was hitting. I don't know what the cutoff is for baseball, but I love that about baseball so much, Gabe, where we compare like Aaron Judge, he's looking like Babe Ruth out there. What? It was 100 years ago.
Yeah, it's laughable. And I'll tell you when the era is. How about when players weren't showing up to the game, coming off like their shift as a plumber, drunk from happy hour and trying to pitch to Babe Ruth. Let's cut that off. And then everything since then we'll consider somewhat real. If you pitch to Mike Schmidt, we can compare your stats to, what's happening now, but not Babe Ruth.
So I still think hitting is probably a little tougher. Acetaminophen probably second. And then Myles Garrett's impossible. Stop.
I could be a speed bump, though, and that helped me. Thank you for making me smarter there. We have college football to talk to.
Yes.
And it's a hell of a weekend. So let's take a break and do that next.
All right. We're back. Let's talk college football, Gabe, for a few minutes. Incredible weekend of ball coming up here. My Ducks have a big game. Your Trojans have a big game. There's a big game in the SEC. Where do you want to start?
I want to start with Oklahoma, who received the first place vote, who I watched some of John Mateer in that win over Auburn. And I got to say, maybe I'm late to the party. That dude can play. That team is probably underrated. And other than the fact that their schedule is absolutely effing brutal, I'm buying all the Oklahoma stock. Am I crazy?
So I gave out John Mateer as a Heisman. Yeah, I have a good ticket on him.
Great pick.
I watched him play at Washington State. I also told everyone Mendoza was going to be good for Indiana. Also a Cal guy. By the way, we mushed Cal in the worst possible way this past weekend. Yeah. I'm sorry to Cal Barron. Thank you for listening to the Tron interview, but holy heck, 34-0. Yeah, look, Oklahoma is really good. Mateer is doing a good job. There's some flaws there, but their defense is fantastic. They also got the benefit of some officiating, which, again, they won the game in the end, Gabe. They made the plays, but got a touchdown, right? That was given to them on an illegal play that changes the game, obviously, if that doesn't happen. But their schedule, though, is a nightmare. So Kent State is next.
Yeah.
After a bye. They're off this weekend. Then it's Texas, and who knows what Texas looks like, but that's a rivalry game. South Carolina, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Bama, Missouri, who looks really good at LSU. So that's a team ranked 10, 13, 15, 17, 20, and 4. So great start, playing really well. Can they run this gauntlet? I don't think so, but fun story for look, John Mateer, man. This 2 straight years of these Wazoo quarterbacks, right? Cam Ward went to Miami,
Yep.
Mateer now at Oklahoma, doing some really good stuff.
Yeah, I'm keeping track of this trend. Rando Pac-12 school transfers to big time school, becomes Heisman contender, number 1 pick in the draft. Could happen again with John Mateer.
So, and by the way, talk like Jane Daniels too, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Does he count as one of them?
Yeah,
What
why
about
not?
the inverse? What about SEC to Pac-12? Bo Nix.
Oh, great call.
Yeah,
Oh, there's something happening.
Not Nico though at UCLA. Not a good example of that.
You're wearing it. You mentioned it. Let's talk Oregon Penn State. Feels like could be a national championship preview.
Yeah, should be a fun game. So a couple things on this game where I net out on this one. It's gonna be a tough game, right? It's an environment that Oregon has not played in since we went to Washington 2 years ago. It's an offensive line and quarterback that haven't played together in this environment. It's going to be loud. It's going to be raucous. It's going to be hostile. This reminds me a lot of how the Georgia-Tennessee game might go, where Tennessee came out and just barraged them early. Now, Penn State doesn't have that passing offense, Gabe, but they came out early. They stunned Georgia, and Georgia just sort of clawed their way back in that game to win a double. I don't think this game's going, 45-42, whatever the final score of that game was. But Penn State's off a bye. They're at home. There's a lot of noise, a lot of atmosphere. Can Oregon withstand that initial shock of playing in that environment? You can't communicate in that noise. No matter how much you practice it, it's nearly impossible to actually do it. Again, what wrinkles will you see from Penn State's offense off a 2-week preparation? Because their offense has honestly not been very good so far compared to the standard that we have to see. Can Oregon stop the run? If they can withstand that first quarter, Gabe, I feel good about their chances. I really do. If I tell you, we have a better quarterback, I think we like the coaching staff at Oregon a little more. We got better players overall on offense. Defensively, they probably have an edge, especially at pass rusher. But Oregon, just talent-wise, is right up there. So I'm looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun. And 7:30. Wife out of town too. I'll be home with the kids. So great. This kid's here's your iPads. See you later. I'll talk to you at 9:00 when it's time for bed.
Whiteout game, and James Franklin, who obviously never really shows up, his teams don't at least, against top 5 teams. He's calling on the fans. He says they need them. Fans are going to be the difference, Jeff?
Yeah.
Is that you buying that?
Well, look, it's going to be loud. And Oregon, like every team, likes to do the check with me, right? They get in the line of scrimmage. It's like, hut. No one moves. You look to the sideline. You signal a play in. Now, the guys that are signaling the play, they're looking there. They can see the play. The offensive line doesn't look to the sideline. Now, maybe this week they're going to change that. So they change the play. Dante Moore comes up. The quarterback tells them, hey, we're doing this and that. In the noise, it's going to be hard to do that. So how do you mitigate those things? You just call it or run it, things like that. So look, Oregon's off at the tackles. I think this is a game where both teams have some advantages on defense, rushing the pass against both offensive lines. So it's going to be back and forth game. Can you withstand that barrage? All the pressure on Penn State, buddy. They're off a bye. They're at home. It's a whiteout, which they begged for to have this game as a whiteout. Oregon's traveling across the country. It's a weird, you can't even stay in the city. You have to stay, you fly 2 hours away, drive half an hour, stay somewhere. It's let's go. All those things are on Penn State's side. Can they win this game? Well, they haven't won this game in a while. We'll find out.
Okay. It could be the start of a new, fun Big Ten rivalry type situation. I like this thing where we only go to certain cities certain years. It's kind of cool that way. It feels more special.
It's I think it's once every 4 years, something like that. That's the way it ends up working out. Yeah.
All right. Well, 2 teams that play each other all the time and know each other well. Weird matchup though this year. Bama in Athens. Dogs are 2.5 point favorites is what I saw latest. We can double check that. But here's why I wanted to bring this up. I predict Alabama loses. I predict Brian Daboll is the next Alabama head coach. I think he's out of a job in New York. I think he becomes the leading contender to replace DeBoer in Alabama. The look on your face tells me I'm onto something. It's wacky enough to get your attention. Could this happen?
Well, Dable's out of a job. He'd be the head coach at Bama. I don't know. Obviously, Nick Saban guy.
Saban guy.
So what's interesting? So the SEC announced their new schedule format for next season and really to 2029, and they paired up teams, right? So like like every conference is doing, where you have like your regular rivalry games, right? So like Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA, Ohio State, Michigan, like you have these pairings, and they did a rotation of 4 essentially. Alabama, Georgia did not get paired up. This is it for a little bit of time. Alabama got Auburn, Tennessee, Mississippi State. Georgia got Auburn, Florida, South Carolina. Auburn gets Georgia and Alabama. It sucks for Auburn to get both those teams. I didn't think Auburn, Georgia was a rivalry. Honestly, Georgia doesn't get Tennessee or Alabama. Pretty fortunate for them there. This game I think will be high scoring. And I lean Georgia as well, ever so slightly. But I think this game is going to see a lot of points.
All right. So you're not going to engage with my wild prediction. We'll come back to that. Hank, clip the tape. I want to mark this for roughly 5 months from now. Okay? We're going to come back, and I'm going to look like a genius. Landry Kiffin, Lane's daughter. Big buzz around campus because she's apparently dating, I think it's Whit Weeks, linebacker at LSU. The pictures of them together come out this week, and everyone's like, oh my God, why would she announce this game week? Because Ole Miss is playing LSU. What are we dealing with here? Max level trolling? Are we looking for clout and followers from coach or his daughter? Is this what the kids call aura farming? I don't know. What do we make of this?
Aura farming.
I probably didn't use that correctly. I don't know.
Is this a Hank topic or this is a Gabe topic?
He keyed me on this one, but I took an interest when I looked around. Yeah.
So someone posted a picture on the internet of them together and then said, take the over in the game. And Lane Kiffin replied, said, take the over in the game. So,
I don't really understand that joke, to be honest, but
what do you mean?
Take the over. Why are we taking the over? Because
Lane Kiffin's gonna try to run the score up or something, score as many points as possible against a linebacker that's dating his daughter.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Great. Yeah. Well, that did seem like my worst nightmare as a dad. Finding out my daughter is dating the cool looking, linebacker of the team I'm playing against. I don't like the sound of that. I'm guessing he already knew that though.
I'm sure he knew, Gabe, before yesterday that his daughter was dating an LSU linebacker. Yeah.
I would think that it came up.
Yeah. Do you think he asked her for intel? No way, right? He's not like, tell me what your dad's thinking this week.
I bet she doesn't care what her dad's thinking this week.
I agree as well. Yeah.
I think one of the last things on earth that a college girl would care about is what her stupid dad is doing in a football game.
Is she the one that does the TikToks with Lane Kiffin? There's one of his daughters is like a big TikTok person. I see it like I pop up every now and then, like the TikToks of Lane. Yeah.
Unless Hank rapidly gets in the document or my ear, I have absolutely no idea the answer to that question.
Yeah.
All right.
Lane's
last one.
TikToker.
Trojans 4-0. Most yards of any team. Maeva looks good, maybe even a Heisman contender. The run game was for real this week. The thing you always say, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay? They beat Michigan State. They're not great, but they beat them pretty easily, -1 speed bump late in the third. So please don't be a jerk. Give me an honest assessment of how they're going to fare over the next 4 games. They're at Illinois, they host Michigan, they go to Notre Dame, and they go to Nebraska. What do they look like coming out of that?
They'll beat Illinois this weekend. Illinois' secondary is completely beat to shit. Like they're lost like 6 guys and I think their best secondary players out for the season. And then their middle linebacker got tossed, and I think he's missing the first half of the game. They're going to lose to Michigan, lose to Nebraska. Lose to Notre Dame and beat Nebraska. I think 2-2 is 3-1 wouldn't surprise me. Here's the thing about I mentioned Michigan yesterday on a different podcast beating them, and they were like, "What?" And my reply back was this: Lincoln Riley's been there 4 years, Gabe. Has he won a game where they were worse in the trenches than their opponent?
I can't think of one.
The answer is no. And Michigan's better than them in the trenches. So is Notre Dame. Now, Notre Dame's defense is an issue right now. The USC might score 45, but Notre Dame might score 48. They can score a lot of points. That game's going to be crazy in South Bend. So I think 2-2 is probably 3-1 wouldn't surprise. I think 3-1 is probably the best they do. no worse than 2-2. Illinois this weekend is juicy at +7.5, but their secondary is so beat up. Now, the one thing about this game, too, is that this is the early kickoff. It's the 12 Eastern, so 9 a.m. body clock. I saw Oregon at Northwestern for this game. They started super slow. So if Illinois can sort of get out early in this game, no matter how hard you try to like wake up and get going, it's still early, Gabe. So I think USC might a little early, kind of like a little lull early in that game, but I think eventually they took over and win this game and 5-0. The game in Eugene, are you going to go to Eugene if it's like 8-1 USC and 8-1 Oregon?
I mean, I would love to. You got a place for me to stay?
I do not. There's nicer hotels now. I tell you where to stay. I tell you you can stay. You stay at this hotel. You walk across the bridge to the game. Super easy. Like you'll enjoy all of it.
Okay, if we're 8-1 going to Eugene, I'll find a way there. Maybe we can room up for that one. I think you're discounting the fact that Lincoln Riley finally has a run game. I don't know what your explanation for what happened there with Waymo and Eli Sanders.
Yeah, but Gabe, so I need to see the run game against better teams, man. Like he does this every year. Like Woody Marks averaged 8 yards a carry last season, some insane number, but rushed the ball 12 times a game. Like they've always been to run the football. He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it enough. He gets away from the run against these better teams. So against Michigan, if they're doing a little bit better stopping the run, you're going to stop doing it? Like that's my question, right? Like are you going to we have 3 years now of this where against the better teams they stop running the football. And so can you do it against better teams? That's it.
Okay. All right. I heard 8-1 is possible. So I'm going to take it.
I think it is. I don't think you go through the stretch undefeated, but no. I think you don't do worse than 2-2. And Nebraska, dude, off Nebraska. Now, last thing on USC. Their worst game of the year so far is at Purdue. They only scored 26 points on offense. They had to force 3 red zone turnovers. They got a pick 6, obviously, from a big fella. So the road thing, like, they're just not as good on the road. Curious how this weekend goes with the caveat that it is early kickoff, body clock time for USC.
Is that real? I keep saying we're done, but I got to ask about this. What,
the body clock thing?
Talk to me about body clock. Yeah. Make me smarter.
Yeah, so the reason why I think it's real, so Oregon went to Northwestern. I was at the game, right? I mentioned 12 Eastern kickoff, 9 a.m. Pacific, right? Body clock. And Oregon tried everything they could, Gabe, to basically start fast. They got there early, right? They got there on Thursday. They practiced all week in the morning all week. School's not in yet. You can choose. School will be in, I think school is actually in now, but school is not in then. It's a quarter school, right? So you can practice whenever you want. It was morning, the practice in the morning. I was talking to one of the guys on the staff before the game. I said, like, how are we getting going this morning? He goes, they woke up at 6 o'clock, whenever it was, or 5 o'clock, banging on guys' doors in the hotel, like trying to get them riled up. Because again, it's a 5 a.m. body clock wake up. You wake up at 8 o'clock on the East Coast. It's 5 o'clock. Like imagine, Gabe, you go back east all the time for work. Mm-hmm. If you have to wake up at 7 o'clock East Coast time to work to be at a meeting by 9, you kind of feel it, don't you? Now imagine playing football, having to do that when you've been basically training for weeks and weeks at the same time, and now you have to do it 3 hours. It makes a difference. And we saw that Oregon was very sluggish to start. Gabe, it's a thing. We see it all the time. Like that, if it wasn't a thing, my brother did it once. He had to fly. He played Maryland at 12 Eastern. They started 9 o'clock in the morning. They stunk early in the game and then got better in the second half. It's a thing. If it wasn't a thing, we wouldn't talk about it.
I'm just saying I don't think it's a thing. Like if you're...
It is. We have years of data and evidence.
These guys are sleeping restfully in their beds until the alarm clock goes out. They got game day jitters anyway.
Oh, that's not a really,
that's not a thing, but this is a thing?
I had no game day jitters, but I slept like a baby before games. Turn the air conditioning down to 65, just snuggle up in my bed. Oh, it was great. Best night's sleep I had was Saturday night.
Can I throw this out? Maybe I'm old, and I don't want to get too gross here, but the only thing I can understand being an issue is with the body clock is like when you're going to get to the bathroom, right? Like that's the problem. When do you time the visit to the bathroom before you put all the pads on? You got to get that out of the way.
Well, clearly. That's more of a, but that's probably going to be fine because it's more of like a coffee thing, right? You have your coffee and then you
I don't know. I don't know what these teenagers are doing these days. Do kids even drink coffee anymore? Or are they done with that too? They got rid of every other fun thing.
I don't know. Are you 1 cup a day, 2 cups a day? How are we doing?
Like 100. What are you talking about?
You have good coffee at the office?
No. I don't like good coffee. I drip coffee. I mean, cheap stuff.
What do you? Oh, so do I. Okay. I went with this. My brother's a big like coffee snob guy, and he sent me to like a place in Santa Monica once to get coffee. He's like, "You gotta try this place out." And I walk in, and I just was like, "Coffee, please."
Yeah.
Regular coffee. Like, no, we don't do that here. Yeah. Look at the board. I'm like, I drink Dunkin' Donuts coffee at home every day. Like, can I just get some coffee? The closest thing I found was like a chocolate, orange, like caramel thing happening. I don't, dude, it's not my thing. Like this coffee shop, again, very like, not famous, but very popular. Just I'm looking right now. So like, honey, so a lighter blend, honey citrus graham cracker.
Oh, come on.
Brown sugar biscuit citrus, milk chocolate, dried berry almonds. Here's some medium blends. I can't even pronounce I'm like Trump. I can't pronounce any of these names of these things. But berry fudge molasses. There's it's just ridiculous.
These are like sherbet flavors. That's not coffee. This is
so ridiculous. I'm with you. I'm Dunkin' Donuts every day. That's my normal coffee. It comes from Costco. I order the giant tub of it.
Hell yeah.
I'm good. All right. That's enough. I have to go to Temple. We will talk to you guys on Thursday. Have a good couple of days and enjoy some downtime. No football, but always busy. Talk to you guys then. Take care, everybody.